Okay, so this portion, what I'm going to demonstrate is deployment of FTD in transparent mode, and then I've taken a physical WLC 2504. Okay, and that is in, I have put it, okay, I'll show you the setup itself, just give me a minute. So basically here is the FTD. Okay, I've taken this FTD and I guess this I've configured as 90. So the setup is same like we have done before. You need to log in as admin capital and password as caps A admin 123, then accept the license and go through the setup, give the IP address, gateway, DNS, everything. So here I am using IP of 93 and gateway of 1 and DNS 45. Name is this. Okay. Then after that, the same command, configure manager, add FMC address, which is 100.84. okay, this portion is same. One of the thing is, during this, you remember during the installation it asks whether the device should go to transparent mode or routed mode. Only thing what I've done is selected transparent. Okay, once that portion is done, what you need to do is you need to go to your admin PC and you need to go to Firepower Management Center console. You need to go to devices, I'll be doing everything, most of the thing here. Okay. Okay. So you need to come to the FMC. So in our case it's .84, and then like as usual you need to add this using this control here, add device. Okay, you add the device here. So I've already done this, I'll just show you what needs to be done over here. So you remember even on the command line, that's what we do. You first step is to no shut the interfaces, right? So you need to go to each individual interface, first and second, 0 and 0, 0 and 0 1, go in and enable them. So you will see that there is not much of the configuration. You just need to give a name here, this, enable it, give a security zone, okay, and you're good to go. Okay, similarly do it for another interface G02. And one of the thing, because this is in transparent mode, you will get another option here called bridge group interface. So just click on bridge group interface. Okay, just give the BVI number and then select what physical interfaces are part of this BVI. Okay, and then click on the second tab here, IP address, and you need to give an IP address to your BVI. I am using 45.46. okay, so in short, here the subnet, just ignore this, here on both the end the subnet is where the transparent firewall is deployed is 192.168.45. okay, so this is all you need to do here. Okay, in so it doesn't support dynamic routing, but in case if you need to point out route, you need to click on routing and you can add a static route here like we did on FTD in routed mode. All right, once this is done, okay, this is the device tab and just a quick one here. So it's in transparent mode. Okay, next thing what you need to do after this is setting up the policies. Okay, so before I show you the setup of the policies, what I'm doing or what I'm using is router 5 here. Okay, so I'm not sure if you understood the setup, so let me draw it for you quickly. This is your transparent firewall here, and then you have, then over here I have taken WLC here. Okay, and WLC's interfaces are connected, so actually they are not connected to FTD, they are actually connected to VLAN. Okay, so your WLC ports goes to VLAN. So I've taken 2 ports here of your WLC. Then it's connected here, here again it's a different VLAN but the same layer 3 segment. Okay, and in this segment then you have router 5. So you have your router 5 here in this segment, and this router 5 is then connected to another network right here, and on this network we have, I'll put all these devices together. Okay, because they all are on the same subnet, so we have few devices over here and they all are connected in this subnet, which is VLAN 100 here. Okay, so over here this is your just give me a minute. So this is here your WLC 2504 physical, and this is your port 1 and port 2. Then what you have next is this interface here is G01, and this this interface here is G00, and this interface here is G01 of your FTD, typically FTD6.1, which is in mode. Good. This whole subnet here is okay. BVI 1 here is okay. WLC here is okay, and for your WLC the which is and this is, and here you have which is, apart from that you have NTP, which is NTP is .1. You have DNS, which is .45, okay, and so on. Your even in fact even your admin PC. Okay, so this interface is .997, and this whole subnet is VLAN 100, which is Okay, I guess here, okay, let me show you this. So if you go to your FTD here, summary, 45 and 87, so those are the two VLANs, 45 and 87 here. I didn't want to create any other VLAN, so for that reason, so this one here is 45 and this one here on this end is, okay, for on this end, sorry, I'll take this one. For your WLC, the gateway is here. Okay, and this interface here is dot 5. Do you get this? So that's your setup. Okay, so this portion I showed you, the FTD deployment portion, how it is to be done, is it? And now look at the policy configuration and other elements here. So once that is ready, so what you need to do is configure the policies. So go to policies. So what you need to do is go to policies, access control. I've already created a policy here for FTD, which is in transparent mode. Just click here and I'll show you the policies. So now just write down some policies to control the traffic across this. Okay, one of the thing is this. Okay, this is called category and you create them in the rules. So by default, when you get the FMC or you create any policy, access control policy, you will only see mandatory and default categories, the groups default. Within these you can make use of this control here, okay, and add categories. So like this is user defined. Because these are user defined, you get an option to edit and rename them or delete them. Okay, the only significance of this is to make the managing the rules or the management of the rules easy for you. Okay, so you can group the rules, okay, into a category and use them. Okay, now finally about these policies, access control policies here, at these places you will find the user defined policies. Okay, and whatever you see above these are default policies or system defined policies. Okay, so block all will block everything, trust all will trust everything without any inspection or without any checking at all. Network discovery allows everything, but like records all the network events. Okay, like what device is there and whose discovery, user discovery and all those things. IPS, this we have already spoken about. Okay, so the last one is I have set it to block all traffic. Means now I will write the permissions for whatever I want to permit. Okay, and as we have already configured the zones, okay, the zones what we have configured for the transparent firewall were trust and untrust, right? So I don't want to jump back, but let me show you again. So using those options, what you need to do is zones. Let's quickly check it. So you need to jump to the device, and then in the device, I'm not sure if you paid attention in that segment. Okay, so this is a transparent firewall here, and just observe the names. So zones are transparent firewall trust, transparent firewall untrust. So using these zones you will be writing the policies. Okay, so finally writing down the policies. Here I've written the policies, like whatever is initiating from or between your WLC, and because of this, so you have just said that from trust, which means from WLC, which means this zone. So all you're going to do here is you're saying from trust, basically what you're saying is, let me use this. So you're saying from trust, which is here, to untrust, you are allowing the traffic which is ICMP. Okay, and as a result of this, one of the thing, shucks, okay, let me put it in this mode, this is better. So as a result of this, you can admin C1, no, CIC 45.5, which is on other side. Okay, and you can in fact go to, which is your, okay, and same way you can test it on other way, which will be result of this rule, which allows untrust to come back, which means allows the traffic to travel in this direction. Okay, similarly you would write some more rules, like as in if your AP is here and your AP goes to network, from network it gets the IP address of your WLC, then you will need to allow the cap web tunnels, right? UDP, so I've already written that UDP 5246 and 5245, but I've disabled that because I'm not using AP at this particular moment. So you will have to enable those traffics over here. Okay, so that traffic will allow your AP to travel and join the controller here. Okay, next is about connecting your WLC for radius or TACX. Okay, so this is another example. So like from WLC to radius server, from trust to untrust, when it is going from this object, which is your WLC 45.45 to radius server. Now this is an example of configuring object groups on FMC. You people already know configuring object groups on ASA. This is an example of configuring object group of type. So this is of type service. Okay, so what you got to do is configure individual objects, like for authentication, radius authentication and authorization UDP 18, sorry, authentication and authorization UDP 1812, and for accounting 1813, and then you take both of them and group them and form a port group object. Okay, and this is the same port group object which is used while writing the policy. These policies are called unified access policy because you can actually bind all the elements in a single rule. Okay, so it's here, this is the address of your servers here, and here I am using the port group, which actually includes two of the objects. You see here radius accounting and radius authorization, which are two separate objects binded as a object group. Port object group, do you see here? Okay, and there's another one which is for TCP 49. This is for TACX. Okay, now reason why I'm using this is if you go to WLC, I'll show you the WLC console here. This is the WLC console, and this is where you add your TACX server. So This is the TACX server authentication 192.168.100.21. that's my identity services engine here. Okay, give a key, then similarly add for accounting, and finally for authorization. Done. Okay, next not there. Next you come to priority order management users, and over here you can local and TACX, just reverse the order, TACX followed by local. It will check in local database. If username is not found, will check against TACX server which you have configured over here. Okay, your TACX server, you can check the reachability from here. It's reachable, okay, because we have already given the access control policy. Okay, next portion includes on ICE section. Okay, so on ICE what you got to do is you got to go to work center. So ICE 2.0 onwards we support TACX, so you need to go to ICE and device administration over here. Okay, and in device administration it's a clear workflow given here how you need to go and do a setup. Okay, so I'll just quickly show you this. One of the thing what you need to do is under network resources you need to add the device, network device. As you can see here, I have added the WLC-R which is 45.45. okay, and I'll just show you here. It's 45.45 and I've configured it for TACX. Now for TACX, one of the important thing what you need to know is you need to turn on the node to be serving or running the TACX service, which you do here. You need to go to administration, deployment, click on your node here. This is a node, it's running PAN, MNT and PSN, all three personas. Click on this, and over here it's running in a standalone mode, and over here you need to enable this service, device admin service. This is used for TACX, or turning on this turns on TACX service. Okay, so this is one of the important step here. So first you do this. Next step what you need to do is you need to go to network resources, network devices. Okay, add the device. Okay, and if you're using it for TACX only, then make sure over here you give the shared secret. This shared secret key should be same as you defined over here. Done. Okay, next portion. So next portion over here, you configure device administration policies. Okay, so let's look at some of the policies over here. Okay, so over here I have written authorization policy. Like this is the first one, which gives you only security and wireless permission. Okay, so you have said that if the device happens to be a Air OS based 2504 controller, okay, this we have given in the device type. Okay, and the user who is logging into this device happens to be admin-sec. This is the username. Then you give him this permission, WLC_admin. Now WLC_admin is a shell profile, which means the permission which you can find under policy elements, results and TACX profiles. So over here there is a profile called WLC admin. Okay, let's see what permission are given here. Click on edit. So in this case you are giving the user, which is admin-sec, Okay, if he logs in, he gets permission for WLAN and security. Do you get this? Okay, similarly there are some more profiles which are default, like WLC all. This shell profile gives you full access, all the tabs of your WLC. WLC monitor, this gives you only monitoring, you can only view, you cannot edit anything. Okay, then yeah, okay, so using these, you finally under device admin policy set, you write down what policies, and here are the examples, some of the examples. Okay, so if there is another user logs in, who is from monitor user accounts, okay, if any user of this group, monitor underscore user underscore accounts, if this group, any user of this group logs in, he gets what permission? WLC monitor. Okay, and if an employee group user logs in, okay, he gets WLC all. Okay, so for all these three, what you got to do is, we need to have users which you find under identities. Okay, so we have admin dash sec user who will get only WLAN and security tab permissions. We have another user called employee1 who will get full permission, and we have another user called test1, and this user will get only monitoring purpose permission, so you can't do anything else. Okay, over here in FMC, sorry, privileges,
identity, and then
the privileges under policy elements, the shell profile, that's not a privilege, that's a shell profile, TACX profiles here. Okay, this is in your lab, you got to do this.
What are the criteria we need to give?
It depends, man, for what you are creating. If you are creating for Cisco iOS router switches, then you need to use shell profile. If you are doing it for WLC, it's already done for you. If you are doing it for Nexus, and if you are doing it for some other device, go ahead. Okay, then okay, so this portion is done. Now what is required is WLC should be able to communicate with the ICE, right? So for that, as I mentioned, we have already allowed it here. WLC is allowed to go to your radius server. Okay, and we have already allowed port number 49. Okay, so at this point, it was about testing, right? Yeah, so at this point, if you use this logout here,
That is not allowed by default.
sorry,
That there is port.
no, I've given it the last rule. So you need to understand, in my policies the last rule says block all traffic, which means if there is no access control policy, if there is no rule in the access control policy, everything gets, sorry,
Basic thing only for the inspector, like the ICMP thing. These are all the basic things.
what?
We having a default column for like that ICMP. This thing
Where?
come under the inspection, right?
I'll come again, just wait. So for testing purpose, you can use those accounts like admin dash sec and okay, so you are able to log in, and this for this the username and password is checked against ICE. because it's not in the local database here. So those accounts I don't have here. Okay. Similarly,
Creating the user ID in ICE or
yeah, user ID plus, so everything is in the ICE here. Okay. So it's actually checking against this policy here. So we check the authorization policy. We logged in as admin. Okay, so he gets WLC underscore admin permission. Okay,
you created it.
yes, so you can go to, do you see here user admin sec logged in, and so you can click on this to get the complete information from here. So you can click on this report and this will tell you so this, see, the shell profile, what is assigned is WLC underscore admin. Okay, and the user, so where the user logged in 45.45, which is WLC. Okay, so he was given only two roles, one was WLAN and another was security. Okay, so similarly you can try out for the test user. Oh, I signed out from a wrong one. Just give me a minute. So finally just one more test here. Log out and use another account, the monitoring account, test1 C1SC0123, and set this at this point. So this is test user, a different policy is given here. So if you check here, do you see test user? Okay, test user has got a different permission here, authorization, and if you click on this report here, only monitor. Okay, only monitor means, let's go back to the WLC console here, which means this fellow actually has access only to this tab. If he tries to go to any other tab, let's say for example, if he tries to go to management and tries to modify something, let's say for example, okay, that's your tactics here for WLC. Okay, give me a minute, I'll show you a document where, so you want to know about the tabs, right? So each tab here is a role: monitor, WLAN, controller, wireless, security management, each. Okay, so that's what you give it to WLC, and WLC takes care that this user can only configure or only modify things only under those tabs. Like for admin-sec user, we gave him WLAN tab and we gave him security tab, so he could actually modify anything under WLAN tab and security tab.
So all these tabs are available in ICE. We can select and
these are actually, we see them as a tab, but
how is that available?
when you do TACX, these or return back a shell profile, these are seen as a role or permissions. Okay, so give me some time, I'll get back, I'll show you that portion. What I wanted to show you, yeah, so here is your report, the logs. Okay, what permission was given, what node was involved in that, and everything. again, one more thing is, as all this traffic is going through your device, you'll have to take care of these things on console as well. Okay, so where is the logging portion? I guess no, this is for objects. So if you go to analysis, connection and connection events, okay, so to get more detailed view, you can actually, so it doesn't give you all the elements here at this point, okay, but if you want a more detailed one, you can actually click on table view here. Actually click on table view here. So you can click on table view of connection events, okay, and then what you can do is you can actually click on these to filter out the interested whatever information you are interested in. I want to see all these events on virtual FTD, so you can scroll a bit here. It's not updated over here anyway. So I want to see everything over here. Okay, so let's wait, let this load, and you should be able to see all the information. So here whatever traffic you see on the console, this is purely from the perspective of the traffic what is going through or what is logged through by virtual FTD, which is in transparent. Okay, so I've already given ACLs for all this traffic, that's why you are able to see all those. Okay, your SNMP, then for NTP here, okay, 1812, okay, for your radius, and TACX, it's yet to go and fetch it from the FTD. Okay, so you don't see it here. Now what there is one thing what you need to check, and for this there is something called a custom workflow. Okay, you typically for troubleshooting and all, it's really important. We want to see what rules are being hit. So you see this rule, WLC to radius server, this rule was for radius and TACX connections, right? So you want to see what rules are being hit, okay, and under what policy what rules are being hit, for which you need to actually create something called as custom workflow, which you do it from here, analysis, connection, and you need to go to custom, click on custom workflow. Okay, so this will show you on what device what policy is hit, and under what policy what rule is hit, and how many times that rule is hit. So for that I've created a custom workflow over here, this one, policy hit count. Okay, and in this I have customized, I have created a page here, and in this page I want to see, I've included the access control policy. Then that under that access control policy, what access control rule is hit, I have selected count to show me the counts. Okay, then I've selected action, what action was taken, allow or deny. Okay, allowed, block, trust, okay, monitor, and then finally the device where it happened. Okay, and for this I've already created a custom workflow which you can use here. So if we go back to connection events, where you get to see all the events, and please note the events, you get to see events only when they are logged. So if for a rule, if you have selected action as log, only then it gets logged and you can see it here. Otherwise, if you have configured a policy but you are not logging it, things will be happening but you won't be able to see it. This is only report for what is being logged, or for whatever rule the action is set to be logging. Okay, so over here you can click on switch workflow, and this is what we had created, right? Custom workflow, you can make use of it, and this will give you this will show you what access control rule policy, and under that access control policy, what access control rules, okay, were hit how many times, and what actions were taken on what device. This is the page what we created, right? And under the custom workflow, so you can that's how you create the custom workflows. Okay, so at the end, what I showed you is FTD transparent firewall deployment. Okay, I showed you how you would, or what sort of ACLs you would need to write down depending on the environment, what they give. Probably they might give you routers on both the end, and you might have to pass through the routing protocol. Okay, we have done it from the command line, so just practice it. If you're given WLCs or APs behind and machines are on other side, if you're given servers on one end, on ICE on other end, then configuring ACLs from ICE to allow traffic from ICE to your AD server, okay, or ICE to your DNS server, and so on. Okay, and finally I showed you the integration of ICE and WLC for TACX. Okay, where do you configure the
in order to pass the
how? Yeah.
In order to pass the OSPF traffic, we gave the
Yes.
both sides,
Same.
right?
Yes.
For WLC and AP, you give the gap.
Correct.
thing. So,
Correct.
For AD server,
For that you.
is that in
Yeah.
IP to IP, right, or subnet to subnet?
Yeah, depends what is asked.
Maybe
Depends.
specific
Yes, depends.
port,
If it is specific, then okay.
For ICE, there is no specific ports to be allowed to.
There are.
Communication.
Yes, there are. For posture, there are.
So you don't need to know. the
Yes.
ports and things.
If it's a guest portal, it's different. Okay. So like 8443, you will have to allow. It won't go on 80 or 8080. You will have to allow 8443 or.
Where is it the analysis?
Okay. So finally, how you configured TACX server on WLC, how you add WLC as a NAD, okay, as a AAA device on ICE. Just not able to. Okay, and finally I showed you how do you configure the policies, okay, for or you configure the shell profiles, okay, for allowing giving the rules for WLC TACX authentication. Okay, just give me a minute, I'll show you those rules. So basically we, for your WLCs or for your iOS devices like Cisco routers and switches, firewalls, we have already created, we already have the profile. So as I showed you in the lab also, you have this common task, you can get it from here. Shell will be used typically for your routers and all, like you do it on ACS, okay, and you can use select WLC, okay, and for WLC We have already done this portion here. Click on all, you get all the tabs. So each tab, what do you see here? WLAN, controller, wireless. We have already given the permissions over here. So each of them is each of this tab here is a role. Okay. So when you select lobby user, he gets only the guest user. Okay, where you create the local accounts, the guest accounts. Okay, and for each of this role, typically this is what we see, right? You remember when we check the report, the TACX logs, and when we clicked on the small lens icon which gives you the whole report, how the whole process happened, okay, where the user was checked, where your authentication policy was checked, where your authorization policy was checked, okay, there we could see the role, what was pushed. It was written like this: role 1 WLAN, right? So in one of the policy we had given WLAN and security, so it was written role 1 WLAN and role 2 security. Okay, so for all of these there is a specific value. Okay, and this is how they are pushed. So in the backend, this is how they are being pushed from your TACX server, which is ICE, okay, to your WLC. Okay, and based on that, WLC is limiting you, making sure that you have access only to WLAN and controller and wireless tabs only. So under these, if you do something, you are good to go. If you do anything under remaining one, it's not approved. You might be able to make the changes, but when you save it will not let you save it. Okay, so that's it. I stop it here. Some extra stuffs I'll show you.